Toni and Troy, The Slumlord, Part 1, Season 2, Episode 11. Toni and Troy are shopping for groceries at the market. I wonder if this pandemic will ever end. It's really disrupting our lives.
Yeah, I wish things would get back to normal. But safety is important as well. It's really a double-edged sword.
Yes. Well, hopefully they can come up with a plan that will ensure safety and kickstart the economy. At least we are able to communicate with our friends and family.
Yeah, about that. I haven't heard from Kat in a while. I am getting worried about her.
Do you think we should pay her a visit?
I am not sure. Kat is very sensitive about people stopping by her apartment. But I guess it doesn't hurt to check in on her. She does not answer my calls or texts. Let's finish shopping, and then we can stop by.
Toni and Troy finish up shopping and are standing on the outside of Kat's apartment. They arrive at the place and see an old, dilapidated building.
Wow, this is where Kat lives? Don't judge. This is her family home.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Toni and Troy head towards the outside door of the apartment building.
I don't remember her apartment number, so let's text her.
Toni is waiting for the text, while Troy looks around at the pitiful state of the complex. The materials of the walls look like they could give way any minute, and it seems like it hasn't been painted for years. Some of the windows are boarded up, and there is litter thrown everywhere. I don't like this place, Toni. Let's just meet Kat and get out of here as quickly as possible.
Don't be such a jerk, Troy. Some people can only afford a roof over their head.
Kat comes to the door and invites Toni and Troy inside her apartment.
So, why haven't you been in contact with us lately, Kat?
Well, the quarantine has been awful. My parents lost their jobs, so I've been helping out at the house a lot. Oh, I am deeply sorry to hear this. Do you guys need help with anything? Thank you, guys. Someone is knocking on the door. Kat opens the door, and across stands a large, unkempt man with dirty clothes. He looks like he hasn't bathed in days, and the room now reeks of his disgusting stench.
Where are your parents, you stupid girl? Bring them here right now.
I'll bring them. Please wait.
Hurry up, little girl. I haven't got all day.
Kat goes to the next room to call her parents.
Are you the landlord here, sir?
Who's asking? I don't have time to answer your questions. I'm a busy man, so shut up.
Just as the landlord finishes his sentence, a rat scurries from the hallway into Kat's apartment. This place is filthy. I see there are rodents here. Do they pay rent too?
Listen here, you little smart aleck. You better get out of my sight if you know what's good for you. I own this building right here, so I can do what I want.
Kat's parents come to the door. Hello, sir. I'm afraid we can't pay the rent today. Things have been tough in this pandemic, and we can't get through the month as it is. The landlord looks very angry, and his face turns red.
Now you listen to me. You're paying the rent. I don't care if you're having a good time or a tough time. As long as you're on my property, you pay for it. I am not letting anyone take advantage of me. You hear me?
But sir, please reconsider this. We will try to pay what we can next week. Besides, we have an infestation problem, and we don't have the best living conditions here. The least you can do is be flexible.
You either pay the rent, or I am kicking you out. You have 48 hours to pay the rent in full. In case you don't know how long that is, it's 2 days.
The landlord leaves and storms off. Kat's parents are very distressed about how they are going to pay the full rent in just 2 days.
That guy was a straight-up jerk.
He's always like that. He doesn't care about his tenants at all. He just wants the rent for this rundown building.
I bet what little money he does collect, he spends it on food and cigarettes. That guy is a slob and a slumlord. But we better get going. We will see you tomorrow, Kat.
Toni and Troy leave Kat's apartment. On their way out, they notice the landlord shouting at another tenant. The landlord storms off again and walks past Toni and Troy.
Out of my way, you little punks!
I can't believe he's gonna kick me out. I've been here for 5 years.
Is everything all right, sir?
No, it's not all right. He wants rent, but he hasn't done any maintenance on this place in years.
Yeah, that sounds very inconsiderate.
He never takes care of us. The building is in terrible condition. We barely get water and gas. The floors are infested with cockroaches and mice.
Well, why don't you complain?
Complaining resolves nothing. We really can't afford to live anywhere else. He doesn't care at all. He takes advantage of us. His unit in the building is in perfect order, while the rest of us live like heathens. Sometimes I feel like I am better off living in the streets.
He definitely comes off like a jerk, and he is a very sloppy man.
Toni and I will see if we can have a little chat with him. Toni and Troy walk away and go to the landlord's apartment. They knock on his door, but no one answers. After a lot of knocking, he finally appears with an annoyed look.
What do you want?
Sir, we wanted to talk a little about the issues with the apartment building. We asked a lot of the residents here, and they are really fed up with living with rats and cockroaches. During the winter, you barely turn on the heat. These conditions are unlivable.
Who do you think you are talking to? You come into my home and criticize my property?
Sir, I was just saying that.
You are trespassing! If you don't like this place, then get out of here! I don't ever want to see you two here again. You hear me? Now get lost, or I'll call the police!
The landlord slams the door shut. Toni and Troy are left with a speechless look. He didn't even hear us out. I don't see why anyone would want to rent from someone who acts and looks like that.
Well, it's an affordability issue. Let's head home.
The next day, Kat wakes up in her room.
What is that smell?
Kat gets off her bed and places her feet on the floor. She notices it is wet. She looks down and sees that the floor is flooded with water. Where did all this water come from? She heads outside, and there are several angry tenants standing outside. It looks like a water line broke. All of the apartments are flooding. Well, the good news is maybe the rats and cockroaches all drowned. The landlord shows up and learns that the apartments are flooded.
You did this! You purposely flooded the apartment!
I didn't do this. I woke up and the floors were wet.
You still haven't paid the rent. I am suing your family. You will pay for damaging my building.
I didn't do this. All of us are displaced. Where are we going to live? If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe